Hi there, I'm Jay LaValle, and this is my co-host, Joe Janitz. Welcome to our Sci-Fi Haven YouTube channel, our site for sci-fi and fantasy from comics and TVs to movies and much more. Please like and subscribe, and we hope you enjoy our show. Today's show is going to be on the Munsters versus the Addams Family.
Yep, and that's a long subject, so if things do get longer than 10 minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to introduce this in segments so you folks can be able to watch several different YouTube clips. Thank you for watching.
Both series premiered in September of 1964, along with the Bewitched starring Elizabeth Montgomery.
Now, folks, you have to remember back when these first originated, majority of Americans had black and white TVs. Enjoyable, hard to film, and because they had to be able to take the shadows and work them, it was a piece of art.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. The Addams Family is the brainchild of the brilliant and odd cartoonist Charles Addams. The TV series was made by ABC and ran for 2 seasons for a total of 64 episodes.
The funny part about that is the gentleman who created the Munsters named Addams, and eventually it became a rival for the Addams Family.
Yeah. Well, the Addams Family was created back in the 1930s. Charles Addams created them as a series of cartoons for the New Yorker.
Yeah. So, a bit of history with what is going on with these shows. But what we're going to do is we're going to give you the members of the cast who brought the most information and dialogue to the show. Now, you'll watch one of these shows on either one of them, and you'll see other characters. If you do your homework, you can find a complete list of celebrity stars right down on Wiki or any other site online. So, no further ado, we're going to tell you who the Munsters and who the Addams Family are.
Okay. Well, on the Addams Family side, John Aston played Gomez Addams, and Carolyn Jones played Morticia. Birch was played by Ted Cassidy, and Uncle Fester by Jackie Coogan. Those were the main characters other than Wednesday and Pugsley.
For the most part, you had a family that was eccentric, rich, but they didn't go out of their way to make anybody else's life difficult. Matter of fact, in their macabre way, they tried to help people.
Yep. As for the Munsters, that was played, Fred Gwynn played Herman, Yvonne DiCarlo as Lily, and Al Lewis as Grandpa.
Now,
they had 2 Marilyns. One was Pat Priest, and the other was Beverly Owens.
and the Marilyn character, she was the ugly one of the family, but we would consider her to be the norm living with monsters. Herman Munster was an everyday individual. He went to work, worked in a funeral parlor. He stayed out of the way and out of sight of most people. He'd go to work early in the morning before anybody got up, and he would come home when it was dark.
Yeah. Well, like I said, both shows were great. As I said, they are both in being remade right now, or rebooted, whatever you want to call it. The Addams Family is currently going to be rebooted, and that's being produced by NBC and being production by Seth Meyers. And no further news at the time. It will be a animated TV movie, and that'll be out in October of next year.
Wonderful. And we'll all be looking forward to something like that. Hollywood is taking some of the best shows that were the top of the industry back in their heyday, even back in the 60s, reintroducing them to a new audience and hoping that people now will be watching them in color and fall in love with it. We have several movies on the Addams Family, and we have one movie that was with the Munsters, but it would be nice to see them reintroduced to America as America's lovable family of misfits.
Yeah. And that was the Munsters that are being produced by at NBC with Seth Meyers, and the Addams Family is an animated movie next October. I think I got those mixed up. And the Munsters will be take place in Brooklyn,
Wonderful.
New York. So that's going to be different.
Oh, excellent. Instead of going back to their heyday of Mockingbird Lane, where they always lived at 1313, bringing them into some place like Brooklyn, I hope that they actually pick an address to film this at in Brooklyn. So there is a, I don't want to say a memorial or a, place that people can actually point to and say that was the Munster home.
Yeah. And the Munsters, that's been rebooted several times before. The first was in 1988 with Munsters Today.
Yep.
It ran for 3 seasons. It airs in syndication. Then came Mockingbird Lane, which they only filmed the pilot, which is an hour long, which was shown as the Halloween special in 2012.
Yep.
And that's pretty much all I have for now.
Well, the difference between the two series, what I want to get in is you've got the Munsters with 70 episodes, and you've got the Addams Family with 64.
Yeah.
You would think that, okay, one had more shows, it won the battle between. No, it didn't work out that way. Unfortunately, the Munsters lost all credibility and all their audience at the end of the series when Batman came out in color. It became something people wanted to see. People were moving away from the heyday of the old black and white films, which I find appealing. They bring back so much nostalgia. But where we are right now is, unfortunately, everything's got to have blood.
Guts and gore.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate.
Yep.
I hope they do the Munsters very tongue-in-cheek, as it should be.
Yeah.
The comedy is there, and I think it'll stand on its own.
Hopefully.
As far as how I rated the two families, you got more of a feeling from the Munsters because they were actually doing things. They actually left their home at times. The Addams Family, unfortunately, you saw little of that until the movies. During the series, it was pretty much filmed what appeared to be a museum, but it was their living room.
Yeah.
And it was an open concept where they connected the living room to the front foyer because there were times that they would have to answer the bell or they would have Thing go get the mail. All sorts of different things were happening in the show.
Yeah, and on my take on the Munsters and the Addams Family, the Munsters, they're both good, don't get me wrong. The Addams Family was had a bit more catchier theme song to it.
Yep.
You know, they're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. But, as I said, that was a little bit more original than that part. The Munsters, more people, characters we've all grown and knew from the movies. They said monsters are, you got the Frankenstein monster, you got we got a werewolf like kid.
Yep.
You got the grandpa who's Dracula. What more can be said than that?
Right, and they were all getting along as a family, very unique family, and they entertained you. Lily took over as being in charge of everything. She made all the decisions, and Herman unfortunately would bungle it as he attempted to complete the items, his tasks.
Yeah, and like I said, on the Munsters, like I said, you do periodically have other monsters showing up, like the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yep.
You'd have the Mummy.
Yep.
But that being said, if I had to choose one that I thought was better than the other, I'd have to choose the Munsters.
Yep.
Yeah, well, don't get me wrong, they're both great. Love them both. But the Munsters win out for me.
Yep, and as well for me. It was a better show in the long run, and it kept you entertained. The Addams Family, like I said, you really didn't leave the living room, and if you got to see other parts of their house, it was very limited. You had a lot of things going off camera, and then they would bring people in on camera, such as Fester has blown up something and himself, and he would come in with smoke coming off his clothes.
Or him trying to charge himself.
Right. And, you know, when you start looking at the Addams Family, it's a cute show, but out of the two, if I had to choose one and only one to watch, it would be the Munsters. So, as far as we decided now, you know, it's 4 thumbs up.
Yep, 4 thumbs.
4 thumbs. It's the best you can get, and we hope you folks enjoy the show.
And please like and subscribe.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.